it's important to focus on first responders because their world is uniquely difficult. And yet they're no less human than the rest of us. They need to be able to deal with their wounds and their access to their healing, just like anyone else. More so, I would say. An individual who deals with a shooting at one point and then has to go out and deal with, another crisis that involves gore and pain. It's endless. Their system doesn't ever get to reset and calm down and come back to some kind of baseline. So baseline ends up at a kind of their normal is higher, and the distress that they live with becomes normal for them.
There's a lot of trauma out there that just needs attention. I don't think it's appreciated what an impact it's making on people in their lives, and why people end up leaving law enforcement or choosing suicide as an option. Because when your trauma isn't recognized, validated, heard, and you're told or it's dismissed, it's not a good place to be.
FRPN was created out of a need to have culturally competent providers. So basically it evolved from a grassroots effort where there were some bad experiences, and luckily there's a good connection between first responders and law enforcement in Missouri. And we got reports from individuals who said, I went and got care, and here was the experience that I had. It wasn't good. Can you help me find somebody who's a culturally competent, somebody who's a provider who can really understand where I'm coming from and not tell me that I need to get a different line of work.
Because I could see the first mental health go-to would be like, you should get out of that field entirely, but we need helpers, we need first responders, and we need to find ways to help us build the resiliency to keep going.
Most first responders deal with trauma almost daily. Over the course of a career in a law enforcement or first responders profession, they will literally respond to hundreds of traumatic events. Majority of people in the public may experience one, maybe two in a lifetime.
I think a little bit of the secret sauce or the secret ingredient in the FRPN is that a lot of the providers were former law enforcement. And just that right there, they get it. But you get somebody that wore the hat, wore the shoes, did the work, they're gonna get it. And there's instant validation, there's instant buy-in, and that's invaluable.
There would be mental health professionals on the call, as well as law enforcement people on the call, so that we could all kind of make a group decision in regards to the people that we're bringing on. And my biggest question to the law enforcement that was on the call with us is, would you go see them? Would you be open to sharing your stories with them?
A lot of our providers either have been first responders or have first responders in their family or veterans.
I got my paramedic when I was 19. I started having some really shitty calls right after I got my medic. Thought that I was dealing with them in a pretty healthy way, burying them down in my brain, because that's what everybody else told me to do. It wasn't until I ran a fire where one of my fire service idols was severely injured, and I had to intubate him. Everything was fine. Everything was great. I buried it again. And then one day I burnt my eggs. And the egg burning smell made it smell like the back of the ambulance with Jeff there. And it just took me to this fucking dark place. So I'm like, well, fuck it. It's fine. Not that big of a deal. Just a bad day. I had a person that I considered a pretty good friend pull me aside in the lieutenant's office at work and just said, something's wrong with you. What's up? And broke down and cried for about 2 hours and realized that, man, I really need some help with this. So I started the journey of trying to find a clinician until I met this clinician named Tim. And the first words out of his mouth when I walked in is, what the fuck's up, dude? I'm like, man, I think I'm gonna mesh with this dude pretty well. We get to talking. He's a previous paramedic.
I referred an employee to some supportive services, peer support, and a post-critical incident seminar, and that employee later thanked me and told me that at one point he was in his patrol car with his gun in his lap, and he was thinking about taking his life. But we got him some help, and he's in a lot better place today than back then.
Extremely proud that the state of Missouri has a network built for the people who have the back of everybody. And we have their back when they need us.
I would say you matter, you are loved, and we're here for you. I'm here for you, someone else is here for you, and you are worth it.